Welcome back to our continuing discussion of Chapter 10 of Healing America's Narratives, the Feminine, the Masculine, and Our Collective National Shadow. So we're speaking again about the 45th President's embodiment of the collective shadow of the United States. And here we're addressing the 2020 election, what led up to and what has followed it. So Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden by 7 million plus votes. Popular votes, and by 74 electoral votes. 74 electoral votes is the same number by which he defeated Hillary Clinton in 2016. We'll say more about that in a couple of minutes. But in 2020, after all the votes were counted, after 2 recounts in Georgia, after multiple lawsuits that the president filed, and his now pretty famous attempts to wrangle 11,000 extra votes so he could win Georgia. He asked to try to find those votes. Joe Biden's still the winner, right? Trump lost, Biden won. And it's important to understand that as true as it is that Donald Trump received 74 million plus popular votes in 2020, he did. Joe Biden received 81 million plus popular votes. That's a popular vote loss of 4.5%, which is huge. If you look at the history of American elections, there have been many elections that have been closer than that, where the loser didn't claim he won. So despite losing the popular vote to Hillary Clinton, going back to 2016 now, he lost by just under 3 million votes, but again, won the Electoral College 306 to 232, which again was the exact same number by which he lost to Biden. So saying this differently, if the American political system didn't have this thing called an Electoral College, which many states are trying to get rid of, Donald Trump would never have been president because he lost in the popular vote by the citizens of the United States. He lost 2 elections in a row. Probably more importantly, his history of commentary on elections is very, very self-serving. According to the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, he began his campaign of future telling and lying about the election's outcome as early as April 14th, 2020. He tweeted, "Get rid of ballot harvesting. It's rampant with fraud. The USA must have voter ID, the only way to get an honest count." He mentioned rigged elections or voter fraud at least 70 more times between this tweet and the election. On August 17th in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, he proclaimed his oft-repeated lie that, quote, "the only way we're going to lose this election is if the election is rigged." So there are enough Americans, tens of millions of Americans, who were willing to believe him that the only way he could lose was that it would be a rigged election. So when he lost, they trusted him and wanted to get the election fixed because it was broken. This is going to be a little bit longer of a video, but his commentary on elections he didn't like goes back well before even the 2016 election. On November 7th, 2012, he called Barack Obama's re-election, quote, "a total sham and a travesty," claiming, quote, that the Electoral College is a disaster for democracy and that, quote, "we should march on Washington and stop this travesty." Without the Electoral College, he would never have been president, just to be clear. In 2016, in the Iowa caucuses, he claimed that Ted Cruz, quote, "stole it." In October, a few weeks before the election that he eventually won because of the Electoral College, he claimed first that, quote, "the election is absolutely being rigged by the dishonest and distorted media pushing crooked Hillary," but also at many polling places, in capital letters, "sad." All right. So his history of saying things out loud that support him, his personal agenda, that have no bearing on reality, didn't begin with the 2016 election, and it hasn't ended with his loss in the 2020 election. So again, we're speaking about American shadow, ignorance, arrogance, bullying, bigotry, violence, greed, excess, and other traits, and Donald Trump's embodying all of them. Again, thank you for tuning in. See you next time.